Over the course of today, I will be sharing what white privilege looks like. DM me if you have questions. Please do. Number 1, a white boy shoots up a school. They justify it by him being bullied and he gets psychiatric help. A black boy acts up in class. They say he is raised inappropriately and he grew up in the ghetto. Number 2, you didn't have to fight for a White History Month because all the history that is taught from the perspective of a white man. I guess this is number 3. When people riot after a sporting event, they are considered passionate. But when people riot because of 400 plus years of oppression, then it is wrong and unpatriotic and considered a terrorist act. Questions. Let us not forget the Boston Tea Party, which was, according to Google, a raid, but it was really a riot and looting, right? Okay? They burned that junk up and they threw it in the freaking water, okay? Over tea tax. Nothing to do with human beings. How about when you get asked, whose car are you driving? Because people perceive you as poor just because you have colored skin. Just, whose car is this? Like you can't afford one. Excuse me, I have a job. How about the fact that All Lives Matter was not a hashtag until Black Lives Matter was a hashtag? Have you ever been walking into a store and somebody was walking out of the store and they locked their door walking out of the store just because you were walking by their car? That's happened to me before. If I have a party and it's really loud with my friends, we're considered ghetto and ratchet. But if my white friends do that, they're just here for a good time. When was the last time you had to suppress your pride for your race and your culture just because you weren't around your race? Has your employer ever told you your hair in its natural state was unprofessional? I am aware that sometimes these things happen unintentionally, but you have to be aware of that. In order for us to move forward as a nation, everyone needs to be aware of the faults in our perception so that we could move forward. And I feel like there's just way too many resources out there for us to continue to use the excuse that I just didn't know. So, I don't know. I'm here, guys. If you have questions or want to have a discussion, I'm here. Talk to me. I'll probably talk some more later, but I'm gonna go eat a sandwich. Privilege. Being upset about riots, but not listening before it turned into a riot. Privilege is systematically removing people's culture out of history books and then pretending that you didn't know. Privilege is ignoring the reason why Kaepernick was kneeling and saying that he was unpatriotic and a traitor to our nation. That statement actually came from the NFL front office. And what's sad is that 70% of the NFL is African American. And to my knowledge, there haven't been any person of color to hold the position of president of the NFL. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I find that interesting. And a side note, it's not really enough to not be racist. The next step is to be anti-racist. Stand up against it. I don't remember all of the circumstances of this situation, but I remember when I was younger, I was at some sort of conference or something, and one of the icebreakers was like guessing the profession that somebody would choose. And honestly, at the time, I wanted to be like a scientist, and they gave that to a white girl, but then for mine, they thought that I wanted to be a professional athlete, and I was like, what? Also, like, why is black on black crime a thing? Like, why isn't it just called crime? Because I don't recall hearing white on white crime or Hispanic on Hispanic crime. It's just crime. So why does it have to be a differentiation for black on black?